Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to Sunday night's live stream. It's been a little while since we've done one of these things, and yeah, my mouth still feels like there's a bunch of jackhammers in it. I really, really hate it, but we're gonna try to do this. And tonight's episode might be a little controversial because, well, we're continuing the whole rideshare revolution got deactivated story. I don't mind saying his name in this particular video because we are going to be responding to his update video. And we're not going to be responding to kick the guy while he's down. Again, it's really horrible to lose your livelihood. I don't wish that on anyone. But the reality is, this has kind of become an important news story, not only for the community because he is part of the community, or at least he kind of hangs around the community, so, if you know what I mean. But because it really has been kind of like an eye opener for like a lot of people that it doesn't matter how high your star rate is, it doesn't matter how much you yourself support the company, it doesn't matter how many rides you take, you can and will be deactivated by Uber, and it will be in the most inhumane way possible. So, and I said that I would actually be following this story a little bit because, for better or worse, it is a story at the moment. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens afterwards. Like, will Uber let him back on? Will the lawyer thing work? He has uploaded a video, and, we're going to listen to the video. I'm going to kind of break it down. I'm going to give my takes on it. We're not going to have the visuals because frankly, you don't need them. It's just an email, so I'll read. So I might read the email. But while we're waiting for other people to come in, if you have not subscribed to this channel so far, and you happen to like this video, please consider doing so. You can click below and ring the bell. Also, this is a live stream. So that means we will not be getting to the point. The conversation can veer a little bit. We will sometimes be interacting with people in the chat room like Ryan and Lisa and Mario S. Hello, guys and girls. Glad to see you here. And yeah, so, but for those of you who see the title, which is can go into the Uber hub, get you reactivated on Uber, the answer is unlikely. Very unlikely. And more often than not, no. And our brother in rideshare, Geo, has found that out the hard way. And this video is called How I Know Uber is Throwing Me Under the Bus. Now, again, the visuals aren't too important right now, but I will read this email he got. It looks like it was done in the app. And the context, you can watch yesterday's video, but he got deactivated over a couple claims of sexual assault. Now, I have to clarify something. I actually, I only watched this video once, but from what I had gathered, it was just something inappropriate said, which seemed reasonable to me. Upon watching more videos, and then watching the video again, apparently he was accused of making uncomfortable sexual comments. So with that in mind, the claim seems even more bogus because, again, I'm not saying he's a saint. On his channel, he definitely says things that are inappropriate. But someone who does this as long as he has and who is as successful at it as he has, well, he probably knows well enough not to say things that are really inappropriate like that. I'm not going to give him completely off the hook. It's always possible. It just seems super unlikely. So unlike most UberTubers, I am not going to assume he's a saint in this situation. He might be guilty. It doesn't seem like with his history on the platform that this would happen. And thank you for the super chat, Ramon. I will drink to that. By the way, this is my own personal mix. There's like only 4 grams of sugar in the whole glass, and yet it tastes excellent. So here's what, after getting deactivated and contacting Uber, obviously, this is what they wrote to him. They said, Hi, Giovanni. We are unable to provide phone support at the moment. By the way, that's total nonsense. You have, I think if you have more than 5,000 rides under your belt, you should be getting phone support. This guy has way more than 5,000 rides. He should be getting phone support. So, there you go. I see people are commenting about the live streams he's doing. Guess what? We are going to talk about his YouTube videos in a moment because unfortunately they might be a little relevant to this conversation. But here's the thing. So they're not going to provide phone support at the moment, but we'll be glad to provide assistance through email instead. Yeah, BS. BS. Email is never effective. It's absolutely never effective. Oh, by the way, yes, Ryan. I confirmed that in the last live stream, but you're here now, so yes, thank you. Making videos about them. They'll be up this week. So anyway, if you have been deactivated, or there's a problem, email assistance is the worst. You're never even sure if people are reading your emails. It's so easy for there to be a canned response. Heck, this could be a canned response right now. They said, moreover, every representative responding to you is part of the escalated support team, and we are the highest point of escalation. I doubt that, but continuing. We appreciate your patience while we look into your case. Now, that's kind of interesting because everything that we have come to know about this is that this deactivation is, unfortunately, permanent. But they're still asking for his patience while they look into his case. And by the way, I forgot to mention one other thing in the last video that we did about this. He was in contact with Uber, and they gave him the standard, your account is fine while we look into this, everything's cool, and then like the next morning or something, he was deactivated. Another reason why doing things like this through email is frustrating, because that was like a canned response. They gave him the canned response everyone gets, we got a complaint, but your account's safe, everything's fine, and then next morning, boom, off. There you go. So, at Uber, it is common practice to examine the trip histories of partners whose driving patterns have resulted in serious complaints from riders. In very rare cases, I don't think it's that rare, but if certain conduct is believed to be willful and results in a severe inconvenience to riders, partners can be denied access to the Uber app. After a thorough examination of your trip history, we have discovered that you have received multiple reports, and then that's where it cuts off. So there you go. But now let's hear what he has to say. Again, I know this is going to come off as kicking the guy while he's down, but we have to really look honestly at how he's approaching the situation, whether this is actually helpful, and in my opinion, for whatever that's worth, as someone who has actually gotten his account on other gig apps reactivated after being deactivated, what this has the chance to do. And by the way, I agree, Dark Road Run, that Uber support is an oxymoron. So this is probably, this will probably be like the one time I do the whole response to his videos thing, but we'll see. So here's the video. Well, we're going to break it down. We're going to like pause it and stuff. I've watched this video a couple times, so I have a pretty good idea where I'm going to pause it.
Hi guys, it's Sunday, it's 4:55 a.m. I obviously did not drive yesterday. I was in a bit of a frantic mood, and I wasn't I honestly just didn't think I was in the right mindset to drive, even though I obviously have lift access. And the last video got too many comments to reply to.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say, and this I think is just general good advice whenever something bad is happening. If you're in a frantic case, if you're like just not in the right frame of mind, I don't recommend driving at all. And no, I will not get a copyright strike. This is fair use. Because if he copyright strikes me for this, he's done this to me twice. I can 3 times. I could copyright strike every single one of them. His channel will be taken down. So no, he's not going to copyright strike me. This is fair use. But anyway, Just want to comment on that. So if you are not in the right frame of mind, if you are extremely frustrated, one of the last things I recommend you do is drive. Whether it be for Lyft or even just for pleasure. Just try to stay off the road as much as possible. Like, I am not someone who has like road rage, but when you're frustrated, and maybe it's also because where I live, I live where there's like a lot of traffic, driving can sometimes aggravate a situation. And yeah, he got way too many comments to respond to. I will say, again, this is gonna sound like a knock against the guy, but I'm just gonna point it out there. A very terse, I got a lot of support. I want to thank you all for that support. Would have probably been nice, but I don't think it comes, at least to my recollection. There's no acknowledgement of the support he received, even from his worst enemies, or much less his fans. So that would just be nice. But, minor point. I can understand this is a very frustrating time, so.
671, yeah. So I guess I can just kind of give a general summary of what most of the comments are and try to explain this off. So this is the most important part of the support message, I think, right here. When they say that, so right there, after a thorough examination of your trip history, we have discovered that you received multiple reports and repeated notifications of alleged sexual misconduct while using the app. We have notified you of the situation via email on multiple separate occasions, but there has been no change. That is the part that I find the most fucked up. Because this went from, because keep in mind, Uber called me about 2:17 p.m. They called me. I didn't know it was Uber, so I was on the phone with my buddy, so I dismissed the call, and then...
Which I understand, by the way. We've all not picked up calls that we thought weren't anyone important, so, that makes sense.
I got the first support message saying that this was made a passenger feel uncomfortable during the ride. I was fairly certain this was a fraudulent claim. I mean, by fairly certain, I mean 99.9% certain this was a fraudulent claim. So, especially when I saw the fare details and I saw that there was a discount on the ride applied after the ride. So, going back.
That's actually a good indication that you might have gotten a complaint. If there's like a mysterious discount applied to a ride after you've taken it, yeah, it's usually a fraudulent claim. So,
Back and forth to Uber, it told me my account was okay, and then going back and forth to Uber at night, and finally, this is the only kind of clarity I got from them. So that after I got this message, I called support, and I said that according to this message, I have received multiple emails about this subject. Uber support confirmed. I have gotten 0 emails or support messages about sexual misconduct.
Now, that's actually good news for him if he intends to fight this with a lawyer. But it kind of depends how it was, relayed to him. So, for example, if he has an email where they have confirmed in writing that there are 0 confirmed emails of these alleged sexual misconduct complaints, then that is a strong case. If this was conveyed to him verbally, that information doesn't help at all, because it becomes a he said, she said. Sorry, my teeth are still so sore. Situation where, if you took this in front of a judge and a jury, you could say, well, Uber support told me and confirmed there were no emails like this sent. Then the judge will ask, do you have this in writing? No, I don't. They just told me. Okay, well, the only thing we have in writing at this point is that you have received multiple reports of sexual misconduct. Hi, honey.
Hi.
We're live.
Yay.
She's making her smoothies and everything.
I brought you a little sample.
Oh, thank you. These are some of the best. There's actually a lot of greens in here, so, ooh, that's good. I'm going to have to hold off on that till we play the video. So, yeah. in a court of law, again, if he has this in writing, this is very good for him. If he does not have this in writing, not going to help him that much. But let's continue.
And when I called them, I said, I've gotten one report 3 years ago, which was Lollapalooza weekend, about the discriminatory remarks. I guess I forgot about. Okay, I just gotta run. I guess I forgot about the other one that happened early last year. Yeah, January last year.
Yeah, but I will say right now, 2 reports in a year of thousands of rides potentially. That does not suggest a repeated pattern. It really doesn't. So look, as much as I don't like the guy, I will side of him. If he got like, oh, you got one last year and you got, one this year after how many thousands of rides? That doesn't mean that there's a 0 chance this happened, but it's not a very high chance that it happened. That, it just does not, that's way too big of a gulp. Sorry, not gulp. Gulf, space. Sorry. That's way too big. So there's, yeah, I kind of agree. That's not establishing much of a pattern.
So I went to the hub, and the manager at the hub, you could tell he looked like he was out of zone. He pretty much just repeated everything these support messages said. He's like, nope, this is final, can't do anything. I said, I want to tell him you're just a manager. Like, he said there's no one above him to talk to, which I know is absolute bullshit.
And I agree. That is Gap. Yeah, sorry. I've got new things in my mouth that is helping my teeth heal. That's what's making this hard. So yeah, the managers at the hub, they're there to deal with like very rudimentary problems. And my experience with them, and this goes with Lyft by the way too, but all of them, is that they don't have a lot of power to overturn anything. Now, years ago, they might have had a little bit more power because the amount of drivers that you had was not as big. So you could in theory talk to someone and they might be able to help you out. Nowadays, there's just way too many drivers, and the quality of the drivers have gotten so poor. There's so many people that get deactivated that frankly, the managers there are not. He said it correctly. This manager was out of his element. He also was right that it's not like there's. Well, I'm actually going to backtrack for a second. I don't actually 100% agree that there's no one higher up to talk to, because there probably isn't. Uber probably has designed the system to be this way, that the hub is really the highest you're supposed to get to in terms of these complaints. They don't want to actually have a person talking to people. This is a phenomenon known as the invisible boss. And the whole concept of the invisible boss is that these new companies, these gig economy companies, there's a boss, but it's an algorithm. You don't see it. You don't talk to it. And if there's a problem, you'll never talk to that boss. But it makes things very frustrating for the workers, but it's great for the companies because an algorithm is taking care of it. You don't have to field questions or anything like that. So, in theory, there is probably a higher up he could talk to. In practice, by design, there probably isn't. So that's what I'll say about that. So let's continue.
He's making $45,000 a year to fucking talk to drivers at the Uber hub.
I'm just gonna say off the back of my head, it's I don't know what people at the Uber hub make. I'd be very curious to know how he knows what these guys are making. He might be wrong, but Oh well, welcome, Jeff. I'm glad you could finally make a live chat.
So I know this is like this is ridiculous.
It is. It absolutely is ridiculous. Nothing about this is right. the way Uber system is set up, the way that they have they set up the situation to deal with complaints, the way that drivers are, brought on, chewed up, and spit out. There's nothing right about this. It's completely ridiculous. And that's why, as much as I don't like this guy very much, I will defend him on that account, because if I'm upset that Uber does this to everyone else, I have to be upset that they do it to him too. So what's interesting, though, is that I've been saying this for a long time. This is not a surprise to me. I mean, he seems a little genuinely surprised this is happening. Like, this is how it's being done. Which, I will say, I'm a little surprised at this too, because, again, most people don't have the rides he has. But at the same time, no, they really don't care, and so it doesn't surprise me. So, yeah.
I was just asking for a human to talk to.
Which you're not going to get.
I haven't talked to a human about this
Good luck doing that.
since they deactivated me. This is all me talking to bots.
And that's by design.
And this is complete bullshit, because
I agree.
this support message that says you've gotten multiple notifications and emails about this, I haven't gotten one.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If it ever went to court, I mean, that kind of be hard to prove. That would be hard to prove. Now, you could ask Uber to provide the emails, and if they can't provide it, then you caught them in a lie. But if they sent the emails and they went to like a spam folder or something, you're still on the hook, unfortunately.
And if I've gotten all these notifications, why is my rating so high? How do I maintain such a high rating if I'm always like offending passengers?
Now, here's where this is where I'm gonna have to push back a little bit, because there actually is a very logical explanation for that. Granted, it's probably not an explanation. He still has some claim even after this explanation. Well, let me actually just explain it. So, Uber only holds the last 500 or so of your ratings in the star grade. In some markets, it's 100. Now, he's driving 10, 12 hours a day. He's probably doing, I don't know. I don't know how many rides it is a day, but it's got to be at least a couple dozen a day, especially if there's like a lot of pool and short trips as well. And here's the thing. If you're doing that every single day, then you are cycling through your ratings relatively quickly. You are. It's just a fact. Now, I'll give it to him on this one. If he's spending a lot, like a lot, then that cycle will not save him from a bad star grading. He'll still get it. But the thing is, if you take as many rides as he does, you could actually get, in theory, several complaints at once, several 1 stars, and be perfectly fine, because they'll be gone in a few days. They'll just be gone in a few days. So that's at least an explanation. Again, it's probably not the whole story, but let's continue.
So I've got 3 different things going on here. I've got the first time Uber, I think this is the first or second time Uber has directly called me about some kind of passenger claim.
Which I also want to point out, like, if someone bothered to call you at all, consider yourself lucky, blessed, whatever term you want to use, because Uber rarely calls anyone.
In nearly 4 years, I've got this support message telling me that I've gotten multiple emails about sexual misconduct, and then I have Uber support on the phone telling me this is my first email about sexual misconduct.
Okay, yeah. So on the phone, they're telling you this is the first email. I'm sorry. That's bad. That information's not going to help you very much in this case, I'm sorry to say.
So, I went to the Uber Hub, and the guy said pretty much no luck. I can't do anything with him. and it's permanent and it's final and blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna listen to him. I'm gonna keep on trying to message support and I have contact with a lawyer. They didn't, and some of you mentioned dash cam footage. Yes, I do have a dash cam, but the problem is the data gets overwritten after a certain amount of time. And
Oh no. Oh man. So this is like one of the few times in the video where I genuinely feel frustrated for him. Here's the thing. I remember hearing a story about a waitress at Hooters. This was on like, I think it was on 2020. I saw this story. And she had got like a complaint from like the police department that she had served minors alcohol. And that some undercover cops went there and they, you know, they saw this happen and so they fined her. Now, there is security footage in the restaurant. However, most of the time, after a week, the security footage automatically gets deleted and new security footage replaces it. That's how they save on space. And the police officers knew that. They needed to show that they had some progress, so they basically tried to pin something on her that she didn't do to make themselves look good. Now, thankfully, in this situation, the Hooters actually, the systems were being fixed, so they had that footage a little bit longer than they normally would have, and it saved her. But so my suggestion was dash cam footage, get SD cards or something, store at least 3 weeks worth of footage at all times. Because, you know, unfortunately, well, we recorded it, but it automatically got deleted is not a good legal defense. If, I'm sorry, you in fact intend to take Uber to court, which it sounds like he's going to try. I got my doubts about that, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
And after that one message I got at 4:17, when they said, you know, even if the data wasn't overwritten at that point, which it was, the footage wasn't overwritten, but it was, then I would have been like, okay, I'm good, because they told me on the app, your account is in good standing, and this will not limit your access to the app.
Unfortunately, as we talked about earlier, Uber sends these canned messages. They do. So, and this is why it's vitally important to talk to a human, which Uber does not provide that option for the most part. So it's real chicken and egg problem. Like, you know, where do you go with this?
And then 4 hours later, I get told that I'm deactivated. So even if I had the footage, which I didn't, and they didn't even ask me, like, what is your side of the story? What's going on here? Like, they literally did not ask me, what is going on here? How do you think, what do you think happened here? What's your side of the story? This was all, they took the one pastor complaint yesterday and then snowballed it into this.
Now, this is probably the one point in the video where I'm probably going to be a little snarky towards him. Because at one point I remember when like there was something going on. I think it was about like a rate raise where there were so many riders who like went like watched like a live stream of Dar Karashahi and they were hoping for pay raise. And his response was, "What, you weren't expecting a pay raise, were you?" I unfortunately have to kind of say like, well, what did you think was going to happen? I mean, we know Uber doesn't care. You should know they don't care at this point. As much as you even like them yourself personally, why did you honestly think you were going to get any different treatment? You said over and over again, Uber's a company. They're not here for you. They're not, you know, you have to work the system. They're not going to work it for you. So when the system turns against you, you're frustrated that it's turned against you, and it's like, but this is why drivers were protesting. This is why they maybe wanted to be employees. This is why they wanted AB5, because they were tired of things like this happening. And you know what? You spit on them all the time. And now you're upset that the system's turned against you. So this is the only part of the video where I'm going to get a little snarky towards him because, yeah, what did you think was going to happen? Seriously. That would, I mean, yeah, anyway. I'm trying to keep this neutral, so, and I don't want this to turn into a bash thing because I actually really do feel sorry for the guy right now.
So, yeah, I'm stuck on Lyft right now. They said it's final. I'm not taking this one line down.
And I respect him for that. I really, really do respect him for that. I don't think it's going to work, to be perfectly honest. You know, armchair observation here. We'll talk about why afterwards, but I respect that he's not going to take this line down. That's what makes this so interesting.
And even if they reactivate me, I probably will be completely limited how much I drive for them. Because this is...
And, you know, you should, because here's the thing. There are employees who sue employers for wrongful terminations all the time. I was one of them, and I won, by the way, for Rise Electronics. Very few of them ask for their job back. And he's saying, well, let's finish this comment first.
Absolute dog shit.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. So, I mean, I do have to say, just, you know, observational, maybe we can disagree on this one. He's going to fight, which is fine. You can do that if you want. I actually agree with him. More people should fight Uber. But he says even if he gets reactivated, he might not be driving for them as much. Probably because he's pissed, and he has every right to be pissed. And that's the other thing. When people sue the companies that they work for, whether they win or don't win, it leaves like a really bitter taste in your mouth, and you don't want to work with that company very much anymore. You just don't. So, I mean, and if he's not going to drive as much, I do have to wonder what the end game is right now, because this is his livelihood. This is what he does 24 hours a day, and he's kind of in a roundabout way admitting he doesn't really want to drive for them anymore, even if he gets reactivated. Or not as much. Not as much. Because this is dog ass. It really is. So, yeah, I don't know where he's going with the end game on. I don't know why get the lawyer involved at all, except on principle at this point, but we'll see.
4.95 rating after 15,700 something rides.
Wow. How did you not get the $10,000 bonus? Like,
probably one of the top earners in the market.
They're
literally gonna dismiss me after some bullshit claims.
Because that's what they do. That's what I've been saying for the last year and a half. Why do you think my channel went? Like, if you go back to the beginning of the channel, it's fascinating to watch, like, every month, like, my love for Uber getting more and more disillusioned because they don't care. And he knows this. He totally knows this. And yet, he's acting surprised. Why is he acting surprised?
And everything like that. So, like I said, I hope I more or less covered all the more of the comments we talked about dash cam and stuff like that. They didn't even ask me if I had footage. They didn't care about my side of the story at all. And again, just to reiterate, they said they had multiple reports. Uber support over the phone confirmed I've had zero notifications about this, and I've had 0 emails sent to me about this. So.
But can you prove that? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep on fighting, guys. That's all I got. I'll talk to you. Bye.
And I do encourage him to keep fighting this because, yeah, he shouldn't. Like, if the reports were false, and again, his personality really rubs in the wrong way. So that's what kind of holds me back from saying he absolutely did nothing wrong, because it's like, no, I've heard you say a lot of really bad things. I've heard the sexual comments on the channel. I've seen the threats. Never mind what you call me, what you say about other people. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. It probably is unlikely, though. So what are the chances of him actually successfully suing Uber at this point and winning? Not very high, to be perfectly blunt. Here's the thing: if he was an employee, here's how it would probably go down. Now, granted, I'm not a lawyer. I know lawyers. I have a lawyer. I have gone through these situations before with other companies. I'll share those experiences in a moment. But from my experience and admittingly limited knowledge of the situation, when you want to, if you feel you've been wrongfully terminated, you can sue, and yes, you can demand evidence. You can demand evidence that you were fired for cause. And if it is found that they do not have evidence, or the evidence is particularly weak, then, you will usually win a settlement. In some rare cases, you will get your job back. Most people don't want that job back. They want to move on, because if they're disrespected at work, they usually don't want to go back to the company. And that's understandable. Here's the thing. Taking this situation into account, what are Uber's chances of proving that that Geo did something wrong? Well, they've got a better shot than you'd think. First of all, they can't. Maybe they have sent emails, and they wound up in the spam folder. If that happened, then that's one argument against Geo. It really is. They do have at least a few writer complaints. And it doesn't matter if they're false or whether they're real. This is the unfortunate thing. The fact that they have complaints means that they are protected to act against a potential employee because they have them. And here's the other thing. And I know this is probably going to be the most contentious part of the video of what I'm going to say, because I know what a lot of you are going to say. You're going to be saying, well, yeah, of course you would say this, but I'm going to say it. His YouTube channel works against him. If they look him up on YouTube, what do they find? They find a very angry person making derogatory statements, cursing, picking fights, and there's some live streams there that, by the way, I actually watched some of them before I made this. They really don't look that bad to me, to be perfectly honest, but I've read the comments, and some of the comments are saying that made me look a little uncomfortable. So, his YouTube channel works against him. They can use the YouTube channel to support the complaints. Because if he's acting this way of his own validation in the live streams and on the channel, it's plausible to think that he might act this way on the company. So he said he had dash cam footage, but it got erased over. He has no proof that he didn't do anything. If he had that footage, then yeah, that's a huge feather in his cap, but he doesn't. He just absolutely doesn't. Now then, we have to take this a step further, because we have to keep one thing in mind. Geo's not an employee. He is an independent contractor. And by the way, he wanted to be an independent contractor. Like, he did not want to be an employee at all. But the thing with independent contractors is you need so much less to fire someone for being an independent contractor. They don't even need to call it firing. They can just say, hey, we decided not to do business with this independent contractor out. I mean, they can choose not to do that. And you're going to have a much harder hill to climb. I mean, yeah, they have the whole arbitration thing, and he does have a lawyer. But once he gets the lawyer involved, Uber's legal team will start looking. They will dig. They will look at the videos. They will heck and I mean I don't know how he's going to act in real life, but like he can't act like a macho man around the lawyers because it will just confirm everything that was said. So, I mean, if he wants to get the lawyers involved, what would like my personal advice be if he wanted to take it? Look, I know how this is going to sound. Coming from me, this is going to sound rich. But if he really wants to fight this, one of the first things he has to do is he has to go through his YouTube channel and he has to start deleting videos or privating them. He has to start removing videos that show him as being abrasive, rude, cursing people out, causing drama, picking fights, making inappropriate jokes. He's got to start removing that stuff because Uber's lawyers will look for it if it gets to that point. And he's not going to come off looking good even to a jury or a judge. Right now, the YouTube channel is his liability. And by the way, if you're a deactivated Uber driver and you've been making Uber videos, this is also good advice for all of you out there. However, it's going to be ironic that this is the advice I give for, and I'll tell you why in a minute. He has to really comb through his email, his spam, everything. He has to show, like, you know, like even in the trash, he has to like, his lawyer has to call Gmail or whoever he does the email through and say, we need to dig up every single email Uber sent us. And you have to prove that they never sent these emails because that would be a contradiction on their part. So that's the next thing you have to do. And then hopefully something comes of it. Maybe Uber will, but again, you're an independent contractor. It's hard. Now, some of you might be asking, because we've been leading up to it, how did I get reactivated on DoorDash and Postmates? Well, here's the ironic thing. I made YouTube videos. That got a lot of traction, and they called me up and they reactivated me in exchange for taking them down. Now, DoorDash ended up re-deactivating me, so I put the videos back up. Deal was off at that point. Postmates, they have kept me on. So those videos remain privated, but they will go back up if Postmates ever re-deactivates me again. But again, this is where the problem comes in because, I mean, look, I'm not going to say that I'm a saint. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I lose my temper. We all do. But I'm typically not on YouTube, you know, swearing up a storm and saying all these things. So that strategy, unless he cleans up the YouTube channel, will not work for him. And I don't think it would work anyway because, keep in mind, these deactivations were like 3 years ago. The companies were a lot smaller, and some schlub like me could make a video called Why You Should Not Deliver for Uber Eats and have it get like over 250,000 views. Which is like, oh wow, it got how many views? Like, oh, I need a drink. So this is just a bad situation all around for him. And I agree, it sucks. It totally sucks. Because as much as I've said, I don't believe I don't personally believe he did this on the job I don't know. He probably said something inappropriate, but it probably wasn't sexual harassment. It was probably just a bad joke. And we've all told a bad joke in the Ubers before. I've done that. And you get the little love tap email and that's it. So yeah, it's ridiculous that 16,000 rides, no one will talk to him. But here's the other reality. Uber doesn't care. And he has oh, thank you, Jordan, for the super chat. I will drink. So he said staring is not sexual misconduct even if the complaint was not a false report. I agree. Well, actually, I don't agree. Let's take that a second. I think staring in a certain way can definitely make people uncomfortable. And you shouldn't be making your passengers uncomfortable. And I mean, if he was like, like if he was doing that, I can see that being a problem. But like, if he was like kind of just looking a couple times, I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's you can't tell people how to feel and how not to feel. And we can assume that it was a cheapskate rider. It probably was, but we can't prove that. Now, here's what might be interesting. He might have a stronger chance of getting this overturned if he can track down the passenger and he sues the passenger. Because in this case, the passenger made a complaint. And that complaint resulted in deactivation from Uber, which thus resulted in loss of income and livelihood. You can sue the passenger for lying, put it on them to prove that what they said is true. They probably would have a difficult time doing that, and then, guess what? Once they admit that, you can then take that to Uber and take it from there. So actually, his best course of action might be to see about tracking down the passenger and serving them first. But again, I'm not a lawyer. This is just, armchair observation talking. I actually find like court cases really fascinating. That's one of like gosh darn it, Geo, you're getting me to watch your channel. I haven't watched your channel in months. So Dark Road Run says, good luck finding the passenger's info. Yeah, well, there's ways to do it, especially if this was just a couple days ago. If you were using like Waze or something, check out the history. Look up the receipts, find the ones that you think. But yeah, that's the thing. You have to be certain this is the person. So it's hard. It is hard all around. But now, after talking for almost 50 minutes, I expected this to take 15. And then we were going to talk for 20 minutes. And then I was going to go to bed early. I see the comments going, yeah, Uber has to confirm it's the right. So, I'm going to ask like a few questions. First of all, question number 1. Do you think these complaints that he got are legitimate? Yes or no in the comments right now. We're going to kind of take like a little bit of a quick little, survey. This is like a multiple part question, by the way. But do you think, just yes or no, that these complaints are legitimate? If it's yes or no, if I see a no, nobody knows, maybe, no. Okay. So far, people leaning towards the no. We have a yes, possibly, no. Never saw the complaints, can't answer. That's actually a good thing. No. Okay, so let's see here. I got a yes here. So yes on YouTube. Okay, that's interesting. And no. So most people are saying no. Most people are saying no. Okay, next question. Do you think if he sued Uber, what do you think he would have? What are his chances of winning? Let's do this on a 1 to 10 scale. Put 10 if you think he has an absolute great chance of beating Uber in a lawsuit. 1 if the answer is as low as it can be. What do you think your chance is? And 0 is not an answer, by the way. Well, we'll just consider that a 1. So, one person says 10. Mike says 10. Jim says 1. I see 1. I see a 5. There's a 3. 1 says 11. There's a 5. There's a few 1s. 1, 1, 1, 0, 8. Okay, that's interesting. So a lot of people think no, that's not a good opportunity, but some people do think he has a good chance. So okay, that's interesting. I think he has, but for the record, I think he has, out of anyone, a better than most chance of winning. But I don't think he had much of a chance at all anyway. So, um, third question: what if he could find the passenger? Do you think he could win a defamation suit against the passenger? Same thing, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. If he could find the passenger. And then we have one more question because I'm really curious about this one. 1, 1, 10, 10, 10, 5, 10, 10, 3.5, 10. So a lot more people are under the impression that if he were like to sue the passenger, he would have a better chance at that. And by the way, I of course agree with that. Now, final question, because I think this is like the one thing that has not been asked. I think it hasn't been asked. But do you think this had more to do with his YouTube channel than the ride itself? It's a fair question. Click one, that it had, you think it has something to do with the YouTube channel. 2, that it didn't. 3, it's possible, but I'm not sure. So let's see here. We got a 1. I don't know if that's yeah, I'm gonna wait just like a minute before we like, so 1, 1, both, probably not. 1, 1, 1. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, the reason I ask this, and I haven't talked to the rideshare professor for a little while. I actually probably should talk to him about this, because the professor believes that Uber is going on like a deactivation spree for Uber tubers. And it's possible, but he hasn't shared why he has that theory, so I can't comment on it. I mean, I don't think the YouTube channel helps in any circumstance personally. And again, it's frustrating because look, as someone who's built up the channel, his own channel, if you're going through a lawsuit to be told like maybe you should start removing videos so that you look good, and that depends how far this goes. But if it starts to go to like where you're starting to file things, then yeah, you need to start doing something with the YouTube channel because it doesn't make you look good. But I don't know. It's frustrating because that's like a lot of work that goes down the drain. So look, this is a bad situation. If this is truly, if he is truly innocent, it goes to show why we need some sort of mediator in these situations. There needs to be a way for drivers of no matter how many rides to be able to fight these deactivations. Really, there just has to be a way to do that. So there you go. Kevin, watch Hubley's video. I don't really watch him. I guess I will, but I mean, I don't know what I know what he's going to tell me that other people can't tell me, but you know, whatever. So yeah, that's where we're going to end this one. Well, kind of. We've got 7 minutes left, folks. So, quickly, do you have any questions for me, whether about this or anything else? We have 107 people watching, so I don't know if I can't promise that we're going to it's going to be hard to answer all the questions. So you know, but yeah, mouth is parched. So, oh, thank you, Dark Road Run. I have to choose Uber or YouTube. I choose YouTube. Well, YouTube has their problems too. How was your Hawaii honeymoon? It was wonderful. And by the way, I got fan mail. This is going to turn into separate videos, but someone sent me something really cool. signed Blu-ray. So on my Autograph Hound channel, I'm going to talk about those. But that was a very, very nice gift. I love that. Nothing is ever deleted. Lawyers can get everything you ever done on your computer, okay? Have you seen Lyft's mandatory safety video? Yeah. That was funnier than any Seinfeld episode I've seen. Hey, I've watched you before, but I didn't really have a YouTube account until recently. Thank you for taking the high road. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, what kind of drink are you drinking? This is 4 ounces of Palm Wonderful with strawberry flavored seltzer water mixed and shaved ice. So, tastes good, very little sugar. I got paid $5 for watching this video, so that's nice. I'm looking forward to seeing that video. I'm subscribed to your Autograph channel. Can't wait to see it. Yeah, you're one of the only ones. Almost nobody subscribed to that Autograph channel. By the way, folks, it seems like an appropriate time. But if you want like a dash cam for yourself, check out my sponsor. Their dash cam is in my description these days. They have a good dash cam. So, how's your dental work coming along? I hate it. Hate it. Been in so much pain these last few days, so this has been miserable. But yeah, this is the first time I've actually been able to really talk, and you can hear me slurring my words because there's things we have to put in my mouth right now while my teeth recover. So it makes me slur everything. I hate it. I hate it so much. So anyway. Dash cams do nothing. No, they don't do nothing, but they're your own personal insurance. But, you know. So, okay, any other questions? Like, we have 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Yeah, not true. They're helpful. I agree. So, and by the way, when I make it, I put the palm up to, like, here, and then the rest is seltzer water and shaved ice. I would recommend keeping the Vault Disney DVD of Pollyanna if you have it, since sadly none of the great bonus features. Yeah. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the bonus features disc out and put it in there. Beanie coming off? No, because we did not get 100 likes or $50 in super chats. So no, not tonight. And I doubt we're gonna get that in 3 minutes. Although you are sure welcome to try. This is wonderful. What's in 4 minutes? 4 minutes is when the show. I try to keep these things to an hour. Unlike most live streams, like pretty much a full hour was used this time though. So I don't understand with Lyft's video. It's supposed to help us put. They've never been there before, but now they care. Well, they're getting a lot of heat from people because there was that report about all the unreported sexual assaults. So they're trying to look proactive. That's why they're doing it. What do you think of No Crybaby Rise here drinking water in his live stream last night? I didn't watch it. I honestly haven't been watching his videos recently, not because I don't care, but because they've been long. So I haven't been around to catch them live. So I mean, hey, if I inspired, see, I'm running out of water. If I inspired some sort of drinking game that's non-alcoholic, I'm perfectly okay with that. If you get 100 dislikes, put on another beanie. I mean, I don't have another beanie. In fact, that's gonna be it's gonna be a topic of another video. I actually forgot my regular beanie in Hawaii, so I need another one, and I guess we're gonna have like a contest to vote on which one I get. In the meantime, I'm using the backup. Come visit us in Paso Robles. So I'll think about that. Thanks for 411. Any word from Uber and Lyft on the transition to employees? No, but I suspect something's in the work because of, well, you'll see the video tomorrow afternoon. McDonald's CEO got fired, have a relationship with employee. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see here. Have you tried the Popeyes chicken sandwich yet? Yeah, I tried it the first time through before it was like a big deal, and it's like, it's not a big deal. It's a chicken sandwich. I'm sorry. The Chick-fil-A sandwich is better. Granted, it's probably because of the sauce, but you know. I do like Popeye's chicken tenders more than Well, you're getting dislikes anyway. Oh, am I getting dislikes? What a shock. Shock. I kind of, let's see here. Am I okay? I guess we're gonna stay on a little more than an hour. Like, do I have that troll just doing a bunch of dislikes? Let's see here. There I am live. I wouldn't be. No, I've got 11 dislikes. That's normal. 11 to 20 dislikes is normal for me. So, anyway, what's the chance of any company buying Lyft or Uber things don't change with them? Actually fairly high. Like, I could see like Tesla or General Motors buying them and just using them as a service, like buying them from the brand name. What was the last time you drove? New Year's. Yeah, and dislikes reviews too. So I think some people want you to put another D. I see 13, but whatever. So anyway, folks, we have hit an hour, and well, I'm on the desktop, so that's what I'm seeing. So anyway, that's where we're gonna leave it. If you happen to be watching this after the fact, I would like to know what you think about all of this. What are your experiences with the hub? Have you had any better personal interaction with Uber with your deactivation? If you got deactivated, I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy these videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. Oh, hey, Crystal. I have you been here the whole time? If you have, glad you were here. Yeah, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you want more content from me, check out my other channels, Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare drivers out there, check us out the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, flame responsibly, be kind to one another these days, and have a good one.